Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Playable Worlds. We're having a fireside chat today with Light Bates. Hi, Light. Good morning.
Hey, how's it
And
going?
then, yay. And we have a couple friends here to help support us, moderators Lyric and Lemonus, whom you all know very well.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
And
or
good
good evening
afternoon,
for me.
Lemonus. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, and good evening to Thomas also, who's behind the scenes
Hello.
putting wires into plugs and things is what I picture. Uh, if
The
you're a
real hero
really
work.
old timer, a really old one, and you can remember uh, there was a humor comedy show back in the day, and Lily Tomlin used to play a telephone operator who would run a switchboard in the back and put wires in. This is dating myself terribly. This was big in the 70s, guys. It was very funny. And yeah, never mind.
I
That's
wasn't
what I
around.
picture. Wondering Dingy, yes. Chase knows it. Absolutely. Oh my God. Thank you. But that's what I picture Thomas doing back there. Laughing. It was laughing. Thank you, Toaster Trade. Ah, you guys are great. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm not in prime shape here today. Uh, I'm actually homesick with COVID, but I can still do a live show. Yeah, why not? But poor Rod has to go down to an event today and set up a computer at a demo event in San Diego and play the game and demo it for people. Raf is speaking at that conference, so he's not here with us today. Dave Georgeson has the day off today somehow. Uh, so, so it's us and Light, and we have Light. Yay!
Glad to be
Let there
here.
be light. Yay! Today we're going to talk about the university update. Light's going to take us through it and tell us what it means and a little bit of why we did parts of this. You know, there's some of it is madness, but some of it is madness with a meaning.
Yeah.
Uh, and then yeah, the server will open up probably somewhere halfway through toward the end of the show, and folks will be able to come in and play. We're going to give away a Reacher tier about halfway through the show. That
Ooh.
is that's actually for kind of a reason. It's because the Kickstarter late pledge packs are going away on Tuesday. So you've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days left to if you're interested in any of those.
The clock is
Get
ticking
them while you
down.
can.
Yeah. And then let's see. Yeah, there's always a few announcements to tell you about. Next Thursday morning, we're going to play together about this time on Thursday, actually. We're going to get together and uh, put a group of devs and moderators in the game together with the players and run around together and be supportive and play the way the game was intended to be played and have some fun. If you don't have a graph mesh yet, we'll get you one. You know, we'll help you build one and stuff, and we'll pool our resources and help people get some Klaatu in their wallet and that kind of thing. That will be fun.
It will be
And,
fun.
yeah. But for now, let's hear about university update. Light, are there any things they should know when they go into play today? And are there any cautions about today's build? What maybe we should start with that.
I will say, for those who have already read the patch notes, you'll note that the planetary health/ecology kiosk, you're not going to see those right now. That is disabled for this weekend.
Okay.
I will get into some more of the details on that a little later during today's show. But the short version is we found an issue with it at the very last minute, and we think we have it fixed. But you don't want to push out a fix end of day on Friday. Anyone who's worked tech or software knows that's a great way to ruin a playtest on accident. So we're just we have it running in the background. The numbers are all still there. They're just kind of invisible, just for this playtest, which is unfortunate because that's the one I was most excited about. Even if for players, it's probably not very exciting in this update anyway. But I'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm going to kind of walk through this update in the order that I think I'm excited about it, even if that is not necessarily the order that players will be excited about it. And if I'm trying to keep an eye on the Twitch chat over here, so if people have questions and such, or if our lovely mods have questions, or Rick has questions or anything, that is what we're here for. Cool. So this university update, I think the first thing that we sort of tackled, and this is not the same order it's in the patch notes. It's again the order I'm excited about. Whatever. Is we just made a couple tweaks to the first time user experience we've got going in, that hallway you start in when you make a new character. So a lot of you who are coming back to the game and playtest aren't even going to see this because you've already got characters. We haven't done a wipe. We're trying to do as few wipes as possible because sometimes it's unavoidable. If we make a really big change, we're sorry.
Good.
But it sucks to come in every 3 weeks and have to start from scratch, especially because I mean, a lot of the feedback we're getting, we're a pretty small team, and being able to see the wide range of different people whose characters are at different places, who've been doing different things, that is super valuable for us. And then again, it sucks when you have to do a wipe. It's not fun for us. It's not fun for you, so we try to avoid it. But we are still trying to tune that first time user experience because we've said we want to go to 24/7 sometime soon, and we want to make sure that new people who touch the game for the very first time, when we do that, don't instantly bounce off because our tutorial sucks. And I wouldn't say it sucked previously, but there were definitely a couple rough edges, a couple bugs we could hit sometimes. There were narrow spaces where the camera would throw an absolute temper tantrum that we've improved the camera on and also made just a little less narrow. There was a lava room to test some of the cool stuff we can do with our simulation, where you can freeze lava back to stone. But it was just really difficult to get through without getting burned. So we've changed just the geometry there a little bit and tuned a bunch of the numbers about how hot it gets, how well your freeze beam gets. And then we've changed some of the starting profession loadouts with some of the skills that you might start with. There's a skill for placing waypoints in the world that was very much in an early prototype proof of concept version. You had it on the old version of the survey tool. You could place a survey point at your location, or not survey point, a navigation point at your location, and that was it. So we've that hasn't even been in the game for a little bit. Those new version of the survey tool has different specials on it. So we were like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be giving them that skill right now. We should give them other more useful skills. So it's just some housekeeping, really, for the first time user experience. Very good, very useful improvements. Again, people who are actively playing right now, and most of the people watching the stream, probably not even going to see it. I mean, it looks like Reflex might see it because they're wiping their character. I don't see. There's a couple other questions in chat about which tier you buy and stuff, but I don't know the
I'm
answers to that
taking
one.
care of them,
Cool.
though.
Thank
They're
you.
not really related to this directly. Troublesome Red, which I read wrong the first time. I thought it said Troublesome Nerd, but I'm not normal today, so it's probably me. But if you PM me on Discord, I'm Carneros, and I'll help look that up for you. Or just or send a note to support@playableworlds.com and we'll sort you out.
We'll get
You
going.
might have been invited and missed the invitation because it came from a different email address. Sorry, Light, go for it.
Oh no, you're all good. I don't know if I can just ramble on indefinitely. I like little breaks.
Oh, I
Same
can.
thing, Kara. Is that Lemons?
But yeah,
a thought or a question?
Yeah, no, I had just a little note because I actually made a character just 20 minutes ago, and I like the streamlining. It was much easier to
Oh,
get through the lava, and it was nice with the new voice lines and the streamlining of the information. Very good.
Good. I'm glad,
Great.
and it's something we're gonna keep working on and iterating. Like, I mean, you make changes to your first time user experience up until the full launch, and then past
Hmm.
it usually, because like it's something you are never gonna get perfect, especially as the game continues to grow and change and adapt. We try not to put too much time into it because we don't want to be just like constantly changing this one wheel when there's a
Hmm.
rest of a bust we need to finish building. But we want it to be smooth, especially for some of the big things we have we're ramping up for. I
Some
think
people are definitely run into trouble, so I'm excited
yes,
that it'll be a little bit easier for them.
yeah, you don't want people to be like dying in your first time, except for in the one place where we
Absolutely.
want to teach them how death
Well,
works.
you
Like
want them to. Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
one place where if they don't die, there's a problem.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah, I
think
jumped through the first time
Yeah, me too.
where you're supposed to die.
you if I figure if someone we've put enough work into trying to make sure that it's you will die, that if you don't die, you're already a skilled enough player, you don't need the tutorial, so like nailed it.
Yeah,
Power
absolutely.
to you at that point. Welcome back. um I think the next thing in this update is there was some mining changes which we've been meaning to make for a while and we just finally hooked up. um they're a little subtle for we've had for a while now,
Mhm.
a whole bunch of refining recipes where you can like as you go around mining the world, you're gathering your granite, your sand, your all the soils, all of the diamonds, all the whatever resources. But then we've had these refining crafting stations where you can go and you can take your sand and you can refine it into glass or silica ore, and like all these other just fine finer point things. There's just a
Mhm.
whole additional set of resources in the game that don't usually appear in the world by themselves, but you can refine other things into. But most of those are resources that do appear in the world, like in real worlds. Just typically in
Mhm.
smaller amounts or like mixed into things. And so we haven't changed that, but we have added while you're mining other things, you have a small chance of getting some of those. So while
Oh,
you're
that's
just
cool.
trying to use your terraformer to mine some sand, you have a small chance of just getting a little glass, getting a little silica ore. And that's just it's you can still refine to get those things, but as we expand on crafting more, because crafting is also very much in its very early phases. We've been slowly building on it, but we need to it's tricky. Tangents. I'm gonna go on tangents a bunch. It's tricky trying to build all of crafting all at once because so much of it depends on all the other skill trees. Because if we need to build the tools for the other skill trees and consumables related to them, and there's our economic loops are so intertwined and interdependent. If you try to like go all in on a single feature all at once, you're gonna be like, we have finished crafting, except you can't actually craft most of the things because none of the professions that support these tools are in, or it just we have to work on a little bit of everything at once. It feels like sometimes,
Mhm.
um, which is tricky. But this was one of those steps that, like, as we start getting more crafting in, it's going to be more important that those trace elements like the silica ore and such, um, you have easier access to. So
Yeah.
we wanted there to be more than just the refining. We didn't want it to feel like, oh yes, there's always this extra step you have to do. Um, there is some degree of that, but like yeah, we wanted you to get little bits of it while you're just doing other things, basically.
Mhm. That makes sense.
Um, check the chat again. Boop. Perfect. The next thing is we added some new weapons to the game, which I think is exciting, but I'm more excited for a bunch of the weapon changes that are still upcoming. And I'm not going to talk too much about those yet because I will let them be a fun surprise when they come out. But I mean, we've said for a long time all of our uh, weapons are in a very basic, very beginner state right now. Especially with like our skill trees, where it's like, oh yes, here's a weapon, and then a Q special for it, and an E special for it. That's it. And like,
Yeah.
we've talked like we have a lot of systems with a lot of depth and a lot of ways they interact with the economy. Like the combat professions are definitely have a lot of love and care in the pipe that we're working on, but a lot of that has been work in progress for a long time because there's some just back end groundwork we've been building. That it felt like it's been a while since we've given our more combat oriented players just a little treat, as it were. So we threw in a couple more weapons, just showing off a couple more of the things that we can do with our combat and specials. Nothing too big, nothing too exciting. The main thing is the Omni Blaster has been renamed to the Omni Shock, and that has an Omni Force counterpart. And then there is a Corrosion Drones that is a counterpart to the Companion Drones, and a Freeze Ray that is similar to the Gravity Gun, but I wouldn't call it a counterpart. It's just also a beam weapon. So that's 3 new weapons. They've got each of them has a different set of specials. They're not just reskins of the existing ones with different damage types. Though it does show that we have a range of damage types, which, spoilers, there might be some more relevance for damage types coming in soon. I think for the most part, damage type doesn't really matter, except I believe Jules is immune to shock damage, which confuses a lot of players with Omni Blasters.
A few things are immune to heat too.
Oh,
So
that's
the
true.
companion drones are bad for them.
Yep.
And this gives players a couple more. Like, I mean, I think there's a lot of status effects that we have in the game, but aren't even hooked up yet. And this starts to hook up. I believe the corrosion drones can apply a corrosive dot. If I hope I'm not misspeaking on that. I didn't do that.
I know this one of the specials definitely does.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I'm not lying. I like to double check sometimes. I worry about that. But yeah,
it's a poison.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you've got the poison special, and we're just starting to tease out a little more of that. But there's so much more depth to the combat skill trees that we want to start getting into pretty soon, and this is just a little more breadth, if that makes sense. So I think it's cool. I think our combat oriented players will like be like, yes, sweet, something to swap it up, a change of pace.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot more coming. Just I'm not going to promise when. I'm not even going to say soon TM because there's a lot of things that we want to say are coming soon. And there's only
we have a couple of combat oriented players in marketing, and they seem to be liking it. Right, Thomas?
You're correct.
Good.
Yeah, I certainly like all 3 of them. They're fun.
Yeah.
The freeze ray especially seems to do a lot of damage. And the Omniforce has a great graphic. I love it.
Yeah. And with it, there's just been a lot of like smaller fine tuning. Like some of the VFX have been updated. Some of the audio effects for some of these tools have been updated. Just the way beams in general work is just a little cleaner, a little easier to aim. Some of his minor details that people might not notice, and honestly, that's a win. Because I would rather people not notice how easy it is to aim a beam versus people being like, "Oh no, this is frustrating." It's subtle. It's not like an auto lock, whatever. But some of the ways it tracks is just a little nicer. And like the client prediction, we're always working on still.
He just died while in combat at night against all these foes. Are the day and night cycles going to change before the game launches? Because it feels like the cycle is. It feels like we spend a lot of time at night, and it feels like the cycle's very fast.
It's definitely something we want to change. I'm not going to promise when it's going to change because we have a lot of bigger fish to fry. But like, yeah, right now I believe it's like 50% day, 50% night, and that's just from a gameplay perspective, not great usually, especially because also right now, especially on some monitors in particular with some graphic settings, our nights are very, very dark. And we've given some like player tools to help alleviate that. With like, yes, you can craft lights and such. But we're definitely the frequency of the day-night cycle and such. Both the durations of them and they're just relative durations of how much day versus how much night is something that is on our list to make some modifications for. We want day to typically be longer than night, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, with some of the tech we're using for that, it's not as easy as like, we just need to change this number from a 1 to a 2 and it's set. It's a little more complicated than that.
Okay.
But yes, that's
There
on the
are-
list. I always have
There
to
are-
like try to. Oh, go ahead.
There are questions in the chat. Reflex
Oh.
is asking, is there an economy now? A marketplace, kiosk, or player vendor where I can buy these new weapons? Or do I only get them if I craft them myself? Do you want me
There
to?
is-
Or?
I can feel this one.
Okay.
Save your poor voice. There is some stuff coming very, very soon. I can't. Okay. The new weapons, I think
There
you
is
might have to
the
craft. Are
vending.
they in the kiosk?
Oh, I don't know if the kiosk has the beginner
We-
basic.
I think they are.
Okay, we do have a
Pretty sure they're
starter
not.
kiosk for some tools. Like I believe the Omni Shock is available in.
Yeah.
There's a little kiosk on the Starbase you can go to buy some of the beginner tools, and they're very weak versions because we have those PQRV stats hooked up. So they're low stats. They will not be as good as if you had crafted, but they are available. I think most of these new tools are you have to craft right now. There is not a marketplace yet. That is something that is
Dude.
that one I will say is coming very, very soon.
Yeah.
That one
Very
was
exciting.
that's one of our real high priorities because the question is,
Mhm.
is there an economy now? And like there needs to be. This is it. We've talked so much about how important the interdependence is. If the only form of trade is the purely synchronous, I have to walk up to a player and get their attention and ask them, and then trade
Mhm.
in real time. Like that's you can't build an economy.
Inefficient. Yeah.
It's very inefficient.
No.
Yeah,
Unscalable.
there is a marketplace coming very, very soon.
Yeah.
I always hesitate to give any kind of date because I would rather be a little vague than be made a liar of. But I can tell you, we did a bunch of work on it already. It is very close to coming out.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And it's not going to be like a full like yes, now we have every part of the economy now, but it will be
Yeah.
a place where you can go in and put items, resources, whatever up for sale, and other players can come and buy it, and then you can get your get money. Like you can sell things without having to be online, without having to do synchronous trade. That is
Yay.
coming. That is a very high priority for us right now.
And you can also just play with friends. And if you don't have any in your back pocket, come join us on a Thursday morning and we'll hook you up. But
Yeah.
Ozoned TW, Ozone DTW. I don't get that one yet.
Yeah.
Asked, how does surveying for resources work? Do you have an excavator light? Oh, Thomas? Thomas, do you have an excavator?
I have one.
Thomas's
His
hands
building.
are full at the moment, but he may die rapidly. You never know. He has a tendency to aggro a lot of things at once, but he's doing well right now.
I see the question from
Ozone
Garstrunk, but
TW.
I'll talk about
Ozone
Ozone's
Twitch.
question a little
Got it.
bit. The surveying for resources. So on every world, all these resources I was talking about earlier, your sand, your granite, your sapphire, all that, they all have stats unique to that world. We have 4 stats in the game. It's PQRV is the shorthand for its potential, quality, resilience, and versatility, which we don't expect everyone to remember because right now those are the magic of those peek behind the dev curtain. The magic of those 4 words is they're all just vague enough that you can apply them equally to granite as well as an omni blaster as well as a starship. Which is like we in the first pass we had like unique stats for everything, and we had people that like look at the early version of the design dynamics and go, "You want players to remember the names of how many stats?
Yeah.
What?" And like it was way too confusing. So every world has like the sand will have different stats versus the sand on Akakala versus the sand on Barakatus 3. It will have different stats, and as you craft, those stats will carry forward throughout the crafting process. So there is definitely a both a using your crafting skills, which again crafting is not very well developed in the current build, you'll be able to help push certain stats and go further. But also, a lot of recipes they don't ask for like sand or iron. They'll ask for like, oh yes, a metal, a soil, and then you can try to figure out, okay, well, I know I have sand, which is like a really high potential. I'm not saying sand actually has really high potential. I could pull up the spreadsheet, but I don't have the stats for every base resource memorized. There's a lot of them. Unforgivable, I know. But like you can be like, oh no, but I'm trying to craft an Omni Shock right now, and I know I really want a high quality for that one instead of potential. So I'm going to use stilty soil instead of sand for like whatever. Again, just making up things off
Here's
the
here's
idea.
another
'Cause I can't remember
question.
all the recipes.
This one,
Go ahead.
this came from Hubi, but via Mr. Goshdarn.
I saw that. I want to keep talking about ozone for just a moment.
All right, okay.
So, as far as the surveying resources go, you can mine and get all those different stats, but you also, as you go through the mining tree, you'll be able to start scanning for specific resources, and be able to keep track of, okay, what are the stats? You'll have a collections page where you can track like what the specific stats for a resource on certain worlds are, and then so you can start using that. I think, how did you phrase it? The gathering and crafting system to sort of go like, okay, if you're trying to get high stats across the board or high potential, you'll start getting a better idea of what resources to look for and then where to find those on those worlds. So there's still a lot that is still coming on that, but yes, Star Wars Galaxy is definitely a lot of our inspiration for our crafty and our resources. Now we can get to Mr. Goshdarn via Hubi via Mr. Goshdarn. Rick, I think you might have become muted.
I have done that.
There we
Will the
go.
glass and silica ore that you can randomly get while mining sand be the refining-based PQRV when you use the sand for refining those materials, or the planet-based PQRV? I'm not sure.
Right now, the little trace amounts you get will be based on will be planet based. So as you refine like sand, you will get stats based on like, oh yeah, if you refine sand into silica ore, it'll give me these stats. There are a lot of different ways to get some of these because like feldspars, there's a whole bunch of different feldspars. Feldspar is a category, not a single resource. But like they appear in all sorts of different materials. So there's a bunch of different materials that can drop them, and it means there's also a lot of different recipes you can use to refine to them. So there wasn't really a clean way to be like, oh yes, just use whatever stats it would use as if you were just refining sand, because a lot of them it's like, well, were you refining sand or slate to get this these quartz ores? So there wasn't really a clear thing like that. So we did have a just set it so like, oh yeah, every planet just has, even if they don't appear as a full resource on the planet, each of these ores and trace fragments and such also has a planetary stat. Which might be like there is a little annoyance where each stat shows up as a different stack in your inventory. We're working on that as well, just to make it your inventory a little cleaner. But you can also currently combine resources. So if you wind up with like, I have 7 silica ore that I gathered while harvesting sand, and 17 silica ore that I refined. How use? We do have a way right now where you can together and be like, okay, here's a stack of 17, here's a stack of 7. Smash them together, and I think you won't get a full stack of 24. It will drop the count a little bit, because otherwise that could be a system that could be abused in some ways. But you can like merge stacks to clean up your inventory or combine stats and such.
It's very convenient.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good. And we're answering some of these questions on the side.
Oh yeah, I think Ozone and Thackett or T Hackett, one of the two, both asked, how do I get the chance to try the game, buy into EA or get a demo or whatever? At the top of the stream, Carneros announced that we have a Kickstarter we ran. There are 4 days left to do late pledges before we shut those down. And we are shutting those down in advance of something else coming up. I don't know if we've talked about that, so I will let Carneros.
There's nothing coming up immediately.
Nothing coming up immediately. So you have 4 days if you want to get in right now.
Yeah. After Tuesday, there won't be any packages for sale anywhere at any price for a while. The only thing we'll have available is merchandise, like my sweatshirt I'm wearing, or the hat that Lyric is wearing, or the TPL shirt that Light's wearing. Yes. Transparent. Oh, yeah. Lemonades
All
too.
representing.
Nice. Okay. All right. All right. You guys are. All right. I missed that part. Very cool.
These
Yeah.
two.
Question asked, will combining
Ozone
with
asked.
XP
Yeah.
will be more lossy, skill based and lossy later on? Probably. Like it's a little lossy right now, and we're keeping an eye on that. Are there going to be more skill based options that like change like how lossy it is or like how well you can do the stats? Almost certainly, but we want to get more of the artisanal crafting in before we explore more of that. But yes, we are for now we've just put in a quick simple version and we're keeping an eye on it.
There's
There
a
was
little question about the $33 for early.
Ozone. Yeah, I'll let you handle
for
that one.
this thing. Yeah. First, it costs us to run the cloud simulation that is the setting for this game. So we're covering our costs here during the play testing by charging a little bit like that. But it will be free to play on launch. At least that's the plan. Free to play on launch. There'll be optional ways to spend some money in a little cash shop and stuff, but this is just to help us until we can launch it and have revenue coming in. It's expensive to make MMORPGs these days.
That said, there are some goodies based on which tier you get that might be only available via these Kickstarter tiers. Nothing that is like nothing pay to win. We've been very careful to be at that to avoid pay to win things. But like there's a couple of like cosmetic goodies and such you can get if you get in now. Any other questions on any of that, or should I keep going through new features?
Yeah, let's go through the new features.
Cool.
I love new features.
The next thing, which I think is exciting, I think some of the players may be less excited about it because it's things that they can't play with yet, is there's been some skill tree updates. And some of it has just been laying out the existing skill trees and some reorganizing. But one thing that we're trying to do a lot more of is be more transparent about not just where we are, but where we're going. We've already there's so many times we've said people have asked us a question. Even just during this while just talking, I've said, "Oh yeah, crafting is going to be so much more," but we're not there yet. And there's a bunch of features that we have planned for the game that are just there's so little of them in right now that people don't even know that they might be a thing. Like our leadership skill trees, our politician skill trees, and such. So we have actually put in a bunch of skill nodes that are locked in this game. Like if you, or in this build, I mean, if you pull up your skills menu, you will see a bunch of extra professions that you haven't seen before, a bunch of extra skills you haven't seen before, and they will be marked as like, oh yeah, no, you can't unlock this. It's not because you don't have enough experience. It's not because you don't have enough cloud tools. It's because it's not in the game yet, but it shows you some of the directions we're going in. And we haven't put in everything that's coming. There's still a couple things, but like we want to do this for a couple of reasons. One is because we really believe about like having full transparency with the players. Like we want to show not just what we're doing, but where we're going in the future. And it gives you a chance to look at it and say like, okay, yeah, there's more coming, more to be excited about. But also gives you a chance to like comment on it now if you like see something that's like, oh, I want to know more about this. Like, no, this one sounds really exciting. Like, if there's a bunch of players who get really hyped about something, like, we'll take note of that. Or if there's a bunch of players like, what's this one? This sounds real. Like, why do we really need another game with this mechanic? Like it gives you a chance to give feedback in before we like drop the new thing, as it were. It opens a little more communication between the devs and the players. Shows a little bit more where we're going. We've talked about like roadmap, but like we've been trying not to put like specific dates on things because development can always get like priorities can change. situations can change, issues can arise, things can go very well. But like this is just one more way to have just a little taste of what the future holds available to players to see and have in your hands. We really like little things like that. Just that shows the transparency. And then the last big feature in this update, and I will reiterate again something I said at the top of the stream, is it is the big feature in this update, but most of you will not see it this weekend because it is disabled this weekend, is the ecology kiosk and planetary health. And this is what I am very, very excited for. I think a lot of players are not going to be super excited for it yet. Partially because it's disabled this weekend. But partially because this is very foundational in a lot of ways. There's a lot of mechanics and systems that are going to be building from this. So I'm excited about it because I know where it's going. Probably a little more. And I want to talk a little bit about that today, but not too much because I don't want to spoil. We're going to do another live stream when we release some of those extra bits. And I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but we just talked about transparency. I'm trying to be transparent. So we've talked about a lot about different planets, different resources. I mean, the wild wormholes exist because that gives players a place to go and ravage for resources without, like, if they want to keep the 3 main portals we have up right now a little more pretty. I mean, players are still welcome to do whatever they want in those worlds, but I know there's been a concerted effort to try to keep those 3 worlds like a little clean, a little beautiful. And then just if you want to just like go just put holes everywhere in the ground and make your Devil's Nightmare golf course, go do that on the Wild Wormhole worlds. We are now doing a little more tracking of like, well, how much have you mined this world out? How many of these rampant forest fires have you started? So planets now have a health bar fundamentally. They have a mineral health, a flora health, and a creature health, based on just what the servitors have deemed is the normal capacity for this particular world. And the different worlds will have different biomes. Like if we wind up spitting out like a Dune style Arrakis or a ice world Hoth type thing, like they're probably not going to be like, wow, this world doesn't have 6,000 trees. Like clearly it's already like really poor, really sick. Like it'll be per world what it's sort of the normal is.
Good.
But then as players chop down trees and hunt creatures and mine out the resources, that will affect the planetary health. And you can drive your species of creature and plant extinct, and that will affect the planetary health. As you take these actions, the planet health bar will take a hit. Or conversely, as you go around and you plant trees and you foster creature growth, or if you use your depositor to try to restore some resources to the world, you can heal the world back up again, or just you can terraform a world without ravaging it is the point. For this very first pass, the reason it's probably not going to be super excited for players is the health bar doesn't do a lot. All that it really does is that as a species starts to get endangered, once you're down to like the last couple trees, the last couple jackalopes, the last vein of iron, once the percentage hits low enough on a specific resource, the servitors will pop in and say like, hey, you've cut down pretty much all of the elm trees. Elm trees are now listed as an endangered species. And then if players continue to chop down elm trees, they will quickly find that the servitors are willing to take action to be like, we said this is endangered. What are you doing? Stop that. And there can be some servitor interdictions where they step in and be like, hey, we warned you and you're still doing it. Stop. I will clarify, like, that is the main thing that's happening. There is a carrot coming. There will be rewards for keeping a planet in good health. We're leading with the stick just because this is the first pass, but there will be rewards and advantages to keeping a planet at good health and becoming a citizen of a world with good health. I mean, we've talked a lot about like you're being given a galaxy. What will you do with it? You can own a planet. Well, if you want to own a planet, you have to take care of it, and this is part of how
Mhm.
we track what does taking care of it look like.
Yeah.
So it's excited because it's a lot of the groundwork for a lot of those player governments and player owning a planet, setting rules for a planet, who has permissions to mine in this world because mining affects its planetary health.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the groundwork for that, so I'm real hyped about it. But again, for this first pass, it's like, oh yes, if I chop too many trees down, I can get in trouble, and the servitors will come get me. Which I still think is fun and exciting, but I think I would understand if a lot of players are like, okay, but where's the other parts? I was just chopping down trees, and suddenly this meteor storm came out of nowhere and hit me. Rude. Suddenly, a bunch of servitors spawned in and came for me. Which I guess is the other side exciting thing. After this weekend, when we undisable it, servitors are in the game. You can find
Ooh.
servitors. I won't say too much about that, but there is a at least a first pass of them as part of the ways that they might intervene if you are harvesting more endangered resources. So,
Um,
Do you want to take more questions from the chat?
oh yeah,
somebody did
Okay.
actually share a screenshot yesterday from the very short test.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
and
had a sanity check for an hour.
and
As we
actually, I
call
think
it.
that is I can talk a little bit about that. Why it is disabled this weekend is just we did a
Yeah.
couple like short tests, and there's a tricky amount of tension, pulling back the curtain a little bit, because we have our internal servers that we test everything on, and then we also have the production servers. But there's like always a little bit of tension, like, okay, as we work on a feature and we increment and we roll it out to our internal servers to test it and work on it, you almost always, no matter how much we test it on, like, I will build a system on my personal machine and I will test it, and we'll push it to the internal service when I think it's ready, and then we'll test it there. Like, no matter how thoroughly I test it, there will always be a couple things I miss. Like, there's just a lot, and just sometimes your localhost doesn't play the same quite as when it's actually networked on your internal servers. And then we'll fix it on the internal servers and get going. We go wind up with situations like, okay, this feature went from 0 to 10, then 10 to 20, then 20 to 40, then 40 to 80, then 80 to 100%. Okay, this feature is ready. We think we're good. We've tested it. We've put it on all our internal servers, and then we'll try to put it on. We can set up our internal service to be like fake copies of production. Production is what we refer to as the service that you all play on, and be like, okay, let's put it on those to make sure like it's not just it works the same between our internal and our production. And we usually catch everything from the translation, but sometimes when you go from 0 to 100 in a single update without doing a wipe, there are complications that just didn't quite apply that we try to account for, but we missed something with this one, and we found that there was 2 major bugs with the planetary health that, again, we're pretty sure we've already fixed, but we want to just watch the numbers and keep an eye on it this weekend, and then we'll roll out the fix sometime next week is the current plan. Because if we were wrong and there was the fix introduced a new complication, we didn't want that to be a new untested variable or loosely tested variable during this weekend playtest, because no one would be around to fix it. You don't roll out big changes end of day on Friday. So the you can harvest your elm trees without impunity. Just go ham right now, because the servers won't do anything yet, but it's coming. The 2 issues for those interested is there was a spreading bug where trees weren't spreading correctly, because it was treating seedlings and mature trees as different species. So when all the seedlings grew up, we went like, oh, well, yeah, the seedlings are extinct now. And it's like, no, they're still elm trees. They're just no elm seedlings. But then to be like, no, we're not going to spread more elm seedlings. They're extinct. Which is like, no, those are the same species. Stop. But the other one was there was an issue with the way the totals were working. That every time someone did like a scan or opened a kiosk, it just reminded everyone on the server what all the endangered minerals were, which meant it was real spam. You'd be in the middle of combat and like, by the way, diamond is endangered. Like, you told me 10 seconds. Like, stop. And that's just it was a bug in how the counts were tallied when we put it on a server that hadn't been wiped and hadn't had previous versions of it. So again, it should be fixed, but you will not see those features during this playtest because we found those bugs at the very last second. So apologies for that.
The question came up of when will we have control options, like for people who need to invert
Mhm.
that left-handed folks and stuff. Rod started to answer in chat and explain that we're switching out our UI system. That, I mean, the previous UI system wasn't performant enough. Is that really the reason? Yeah, and we're
There's a
replacing
couple
it with a new
reasons.
one. Yeah,
That's one of the big ones. A big one is performance. Another one is just it was a nightmare to work with.
there's
To be
that.
like, we want a very simple window, and just it took entirely too long to build. Where this new system will be much faster, which
Yeah.
is important when we're trying to get more things in the game.
But as soon as that's swapped in, we'll be able to change the control options and things like that. Yeah, it's coming.
that's
It's on our plan. It's just not. It's not in this update, and I don't think it'll be in the next update either.
Probably not the next one. The work ticket has
Yeah,
been
but
made.
it's
There's still
close.
a lot of old UI we're converting to the new one, and the
Yeah,
same person who is the tip of the spear on that UI conversion chart will be the person who's also doing the control remapping, key binding stuff, and she can't do more than one thing at once. As much as I wish we could all do 7 things at once, that's a great way to make 1/7 of the progress on anything. So yes, that is it is
yeah,
coming. I'm not going to put a date on it because there's
yeah.
a lot of other things that can pop up and be like, we want to fix game breaking things. We want to fix like performance stuff. But no, that is definitely something we want sooner rather than later. One of the reasons we hadn't prioritized it before now is super high is because we do want to like typically just do our best to make sure the default controls are the best. So if there are people who are having trouble with the controls, they're like, no, why does shit like sprint work like this? Why are my specials on Q and E? Like, we want to hear that feedback instead of just people going like, I'll just rebind it. But I think we're at the point now where we're confident enough in our base default controls that it's like, okay, but we can give the people who want the key binding the key binding. We just haven't been able to get that in yet. But it is definitely coming.
I want to sneak in a giveaway. Thomas, get
Yeah.
ready. Also,
Oh.
Rod just let us know that the servers have unlocked. So if you're waiting to log in, wait no more.
Oh, I want to, before the giveaway, there's one real fast question. I'm so sorry. Troublesome Red asked, can we stream our playtests, or do you want to keep a secret? There is not an NDA out right now. You are welcome to stream all of the playtests. In fact, please do. We'd love to have you show the game, and we'd love to see you play. And we watch a lot of like the streams and the playtests, the like YouTube videos people post, because it's a great source of feedback for us. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll sometimes people post videos of their first play sessions and stuff, and we go over them internally and we talk about, okay, this person saw this or did this, or yeah, it's very helpful. Okay, so we're going to give away a Reacher tier, which is that $33 thing that was mentioned earlier. I think it was Troublesome Red who saw it, but one of you were talking about that. We're going to give one of those away. If you already have access to the game, this won't do much for you, but you can give it to your friend or your spouse or your kid or whatever. So what you'll need is someone's email address. So if you want to be in this, Thomas is going to give us something to type here in a moment. What is it going to be, Thomas? He's going to give us a magic word, and we'll type it in chat to join the thing. Something. Okay, good. Not that he's listening to us. Okay,
Something.
Yeah, if you type something in chat, no exclamation point, no anything else, just type something. It has to be the word something.
Yeah, the word something, not just anything. SOMETHING, no space.
All right. Sometimes he's, sneaky, Thomas. But okay, type something. Only one helps. Only one entry will work. And if you don't type that word, you're not entering the giveaway. So thank you. because someone else who needs it might get it. Okay. So we're going to let this run for a few minutes while we talk about anything else about this patch.
There was a question
remember-
about it earlier that
Okay.
I don't know if we answered
Go for
in
it.
chat.
Oh yeah.
If you win this giveaway and you get the code, can you play in this current test?
Yeah, if you're fast. Not even fast. Yeah. If you oh shoot, I think we have to send out an email. And that's a Nina has been
Yeah.
sending those things. Thomas, do you know how often she's sending those out? Or
I think she does it right before the test.
Yeah, 1 day, 36 hours, more or less.
roughly 1.5 days to get this sent out. However, this test will run until Tuesday morning. She probably won't do anything on a Sunday, right? She's been working her butt off.
I would hope she wouldn't. I would hope she takes a break and takes care of herself. She might anyway.
Yeah, she's got her hands full. You know, and a kid and a sick dog. She's got her hands full. Oh, okay. Sorry. But it'll be soon. It'll be soon. And we start another test on Thursday. And, unless something surprises us in the product development process, which occasionally happens. Yeah, good catch, Lebanus. What is your favorite of the new skill trees that we just revealed to people in this build? One of the ones that's not enabled in the game yet, that we're just giving them a peek at what's coming.
I have to quickly remind myself which ones we gave the peek on.
Mine's probably
did
leadership.
business, humanities, leadership, vehicles, xenobiology.
Definitely the humanities.
Yeah, that's
we
really
haven't shown
cool.
a lot, but like right now, like the only way the humanities really plays in the game right now is like you can do slash dance to help people recover wounds. It's it, and we have so many fun plans for the dancer, actor, musician, journalist, writer, and the things we can do with that. I mean, an MMO is really driven by all of the interactions between players. The defining feature of an MMO is it's massively multiplayer. If we've talked a lot about our economic interdependence because we want people to actually have to play together. It's not. This isn't just another MMO where everyone is the singular chosen hero running through their own singular storyline, and there just happens to be 100 other people here. This is we wanted this to be a galaxy that a lot of people live in and interact with each other. And like if you want to like play it by yourself and go off and do your own solo thing, like we don't want to punish you for that. Like there's a lot of very much solo style players. I can tend to lean that way myself, but like there are uses for that. Like I love to like run off and gather my survey points and create my maps, and I want to be able like and then I can share those with players and sell them to people and such. But like we have a lot of plans for these humanities professions where where they will not just be like, oh, something you can do for fun to interact with people, but like they will matter. They will be part of the economic loops of the game. They will the slash dance to heal wounds is like only scratching the very surface. That is a placeholder to show that no, that dancing will mean something in this game. So I'm really, really jazzed for those.
But okay, reminder, we're going to take one more question and then we're going to end the giveaway and see who won. So what T. Hackett asked, is this going to be PvE and PvP or just PvE?
There will be PvP eventually. Have we said whether or not there will be PvP by launch?
We haven't said whether it'll be in at launch, have we?
Okay. We spoke something about PvP and PvE with Dave and Raf during the interviews. So with Dave, latest video on YouTube, he spoke a little bit about PvP and PvE in terms of, well, when we're gonna work on that, which will be after PvE, clearly.
Yeah.
And also with Rav in the latest interview, if I remember well.
I don't know. So we've talked a little bit about it. I don't know exactly. So I'm going to keep these cards a little close to my chest. There will be at some point PvP. It will be opt-in. So it's not going to be like an on by default. You could just load into the world, walk into the world, and then have someone gank you. You'll be able to set it as part of like I was talking earlier about you'll be able to own planets and set rules for those planets. PvP will be one of those rules you can set. Like on this world, PvP is enabled, and then before someone lands their ship on their world, which we don't have any of that yet, we just have portals. But you'll be able to get like, this is a PvP world. Are you sure you can land here? I do not know if we've given a timeline for that. I
No.
will say if we have given a timeline for that, if we haven't, it is not. I've said a lot of things are in the pipe and coming soon. PvP is not on the soon list. We
Yeah.
really need to nail PvE first before we can even start doing PvP. And
It will
there's a
not be
lot of
possible to surprise you. They won't be
Yeah.
able to. You won't be able to accidentally go into the wrong area, etc. But we don't have separate servers for anything. It's one logical world.
I mean,
So there are different
you could
planets.
you could argue separate servers and like, yes, this world is set to PvP by the local government that is owning this world. So in that sense, you will have separate servers, but it's not like going to be like, yes, we as the developers have deemed this to be the PvP zone. Like a lot of it is going to be up to players, and like most things will be, most if not all things will be PvE by default.
A
And that's what
person
we're
who's in a PvP part of the game can still talk to a person who's in a PvE part of the game.
Yeah,
They're
they're not
not
going to
on
be like,
separate realms.
yeah.
They're shards or something. It's not like that.
So yes, they will be. It'll be largely player driven, where it's like if you're in the core of the galaxy versus on the wild out frontier, like there will be some interplay there. But yeah, for the largely it'll be opt in. You're not going to be like accidentally wind up in a place with PvP enabled. It'll be very clearly flagged. There will probably be a couple dedicated like PvP spaces you can enter. I'm not going to talk any more about that because that is not very thoroughly designed yet. But the answer is there will be some kind of PvP, but it'll be opt-in, and it is PvE is our much higher priority right now. The closest thing we have right now is that there are ways to like grief some other players, and we've done a lot of work to try to prevent that. There are still a couple things that you can do because just the nature of our simulation, there's always going to be some limits to what we can do. Like if you are digging a cave and you dig too greedily, you can collapse it in on yourself, which means you can collapse it on someone else, and like there's not a lot we can do to like be like, oh, this was an accidental collapse, you should have suffered the consequences, but oh, this was an intentional one, therefore we're going to step in and prevent it. Like we can't read your mind. So there are some ways that you can grief people. Please don't. But also, we are also, as part of our PvE efforts, trying to put in as much effort as we can to prevent those griefing. Like we're trying to prevent, like, make it so that you can't just like shunt a bunch of lava into someone's homestead because that's not fun for anyone. So we're working on all.
Okay, congratulations to Troublesome Red. You will
Congrats.
get a message from Playstars Reach, which is Thomas on our stream. He'll reach out to you and ask for your email address, and we'll give it to Nina to send out an offer. If it's not, if you already have it, you can give us a different email address for someone, etc. Thank you very much. Thank you, Light, for coming on and explaining this.
Glad to be here.
Thank you, Thomas and Lemonis and Lyric, for helping us and the moral support and the etc. A big thanks to Rod, who's been answering questions in the back and setting up the playtest and preparing to go do the live demo at the event today. Thank you, all of you. Please join us again next Thursday at the same time. and we'll play together. Hopefully, I'll be back on track by then. Have my head focused. Thank you very much. Oh, look, it's a little
And
dance party
thank you,
happening.
Carneros, for being here and
Oh.
hosting this, even though you are sick. Go rest.
Yes, I will do that. Thank you. I'm gonna go keel over. But again, thank you very much, guys. We're gonna wind down now and let you go play.
Thanks, everybody. See you
Thanks
next
for
time.
having
Yes.